Okay guys, I'm just going to go over what Jeff showed us in class today. Creating a new document, Photoshop. I'm just going to go up to File, New, and I already have my sizes set here at 300 pixels per inch. Jeff told us we can do 200, that should be fine. And I'm going to choose width of 11 and height by 17. You can switch those around if you'd like. Mine's going to be in a portrait format. I'll just title it. Okay, I'm just going to talk about placing an image here. To start with, you should have images already in a folder on your computer. I know Jeff said to just drag them off the internet, but that can cause some problems. Specifically, if you lose all these swatches here because you dragged and dropped an image from the internet, that's why. So just save those to a folder on the desktop until you can have those images already ready for your workflow. So I'm going to File, Place, and I already have an art and design folder, a bunch of images. I'm going to go for the Damien Hirst skull, and there he is. It looks pixelated already, but you'll see that it should be okay. If you want to resize this and keep the proportions the same, just hold down the Shift key, okay, and hit return when you have it where you like it. And this is the move tool up here. You can move that around. When you have the move tool selected, make sure you have auto select selected, and that'll make it easy for you to go back and forth. Next thing, make sure you have show transform controls selected, so when you select off of this and select back on it, you can resize it again if you need to. I'm going to size this to the page. If you go too big, then it will start to look pixelated, and we're starting to lose some resolution now, but for the sake of demonstration, it's not a big deal. Next tool over here is the magic wand. You can always click and drag out and do the quick selection tool instead if you want to. The magic wand should be just fine because the background is black here. So I'm just going to click in the black area and it selects that, and then I'm going to hold down Shift and select inside of his mouth as well. If you want the magic wand to select more, you can always change the tolerance. Let's click the mask, add layer mask. You can see it knocks out the image that's not selected and keeps everything that is selected. And you can just hit Command, or on a PC Control I, and that inverts it. So you can always go up to Select here, Refine Edge. And as he said, and I believe this to be true, just play around with these controls so you get something that you like. You know, you can smooth this out as much as you like. You can change this, and that'll add more or less. I think this looks pretty good right here. Good enough. Hit OK. Okay, I'm going to add another image here to the background. So create new layer. File, Place. Put the Rothko in here. Hold down Shift. Drag it out. Maybe I'll make it full screen. Okay. Grab my selection tool, or my move tool rather. I like it right there. Turn. Okay, so you can see, obviously we don't see Damien Hirst anymore, and it's just because of the stacking order of the layers. So just grab Rothko, drag and drop it into the little bar in between the two layers. So I'll show you how that works. If I bring it back up here, see how that little bar in between lights up? So you know that it's going to be in between the background and Damien Hirst's skull. Okay, you can see it didn't mask off the entire image, so if I want to get rid of this white line, instead of using the eraser or anything like that, I'm just going to go and select this, the mask that's inside the layer. Just clicking on this layer mask thumbnail, and then coming over here, grab my brush. You can change the brush size by doing this, clicking here and changing the master diameter, and then previewing it over here, or you can just use the up and down arrow on the bracket tool. That's pretty neat. Okay, so now since we've clicked on the mask, the brush isn't actually going to be a paintbrush. It is a paintbrush, but it is going to either reveal or hide the mask. And so, as you can see, if I come over here and kind of erase over, I'm just erasing part of the mask, and so it's see-through. And I'm going to go back here. Command Z will bring you back one step. I'm just going to inverse these colors over here. Switch to foreground and background colors. So now I have white. It reveals part of the mask that I had on there, and that's the original black that was in the background. I know it's a little confusing because white reveals black and black reveals white, but just remember that this is sort of a reveal or hide tool, and gray gets you somewhere in between. So I'm going to make sure that set the foreground colored, and I'm going to come over here and just erase out carefully this. I'll just chin a little bit. It's okay. That area there. And this can be a really nice tool as well if you want to blend things. So I'm going to double click on that black, make it kind of gray. Say for instance I want to fade in a little bit. Fade that skull partially into the background. Very cool. Okay. A couple things you want to think about is organizing your layers palette, and every time you create a new shape or text, you're going to want to create a new layer. So I'm going to hit text here. I spelled that right. And I'm going to just select the whole thing. Go way up in size. Even bigger. And I'm going to change this. You can see the samples here. Vector tools, right? Let's do this. You can come over here and pull out, the line tool is the default. You can click and drag out, and say I wanted to just put in a rectangle. I'm going to do this off to the side. You can tell it to have a certain shape, a certain color. I just held down Shift and dragged out and made a perfect square. Of course, you can just say, okay, I want the color to be red, or you can also sample from the background here. You can see when I just pull off of that, it just pulls up the eyedropper. You don't have to actually select the eyedropper. Something like this. What you're going to find though is if you try to make a vector tool, or sorry, a vector shape, and it doesn't give you the color choice, you're going to want to come up here, this little guy here. It defaults oftentimes to this just paths tool, and it's not going to give you what you want. And just as an example here, it just gives you a line, just gives you a path. It doesn't give you anything with color choices. So you're going to need to select this one, shape layers, the farthest left, and then that is where you can select the color for it. And now you can make a vector shape. Okay, that's just the basics, what we went over yesterday. Remember, layer stacking order here. If I put Damien Hirst down here below or above maybe, you can see that those disappear into the background. You can also turn off these layers by using the eyeball. I don't really want those ugly boxes in there. And I think that's about it. Okay,